I want to take this time to kind of highlight your career, which has been a fascinating, long career. We all know that professional wrestling is a very physical, very demanding, very sacrificial business, right? I mean,
Yeah, very sacrificial.
and
Yeah.
it really does, you know, for those who love it, I'm sure it's glamorous. It looks glamorous for those on the outside not looking in, but I mean,
It's a
you know
tough
the ups
business,
and downs.
man.
Yeah.
Dr. Schultz said it the best. It is a tough business. That's why that pencil neck holding the camera is not, doing what we do. And that's why that reporter's not doing what we do. And especially, how you just said, and it doesn't really dawn on me because again, I'm still in the grind, but how long I've been doing it. Some people think right now, like 5, 7 years is a long time, but like talk about somebody's doing it over almost 2 decades, as one character and let alone, wrestling before this character. And all the training and years that it takes. And you said it, man, it's super sacrificial. I sacrificed a lot and I continue from time to time, but ultimately I see the bigger goal, and the bigger goal is providing for my family and my legacy, what I leave behind in wrestling. It's not about the championships. It's not about, it's about who I wrestled, the perception I have of my or my peers have of me, saying like, oh, that always was a cool man or a good man, and made me laugh and like always had good matches and stuff. So, that to me is more important than anything else. Even money, man. Like money, you can't buy me. That's why I left also WWE with, 2 years left on my contract, almost 2 years. And it wasn't about the money. It was about what I wanted to do, my legacy. So can't put a
Yeah.
price on that.
Yeah. It was probably what creative differences and I was in a partnership one time. Me and him, I love this dude. I thought we worked great together, but as a business vision, we had two different visions,
Yeah.
and it was never going to connect. And so we just had to say, hey man, let's just go our separate ways. Did you kind of feel like that in this situation with
See,
WWE?
it was a little, I don't think it was creative because I think I've already accepted the process of the beast, right? The process of the machine. So I took it as let me take this opportunity to contribute as much as I can, pitch ideas and like, work on myself. And the moment that became and felt like work rather than my passion and my dream, that's when I was like, I need to step away before I become bitter and stuff. The politics and all the other stuff that comes with it, the pitching of ideas and creative stuff, like again, I accept it, and being a realistic person, I understood like I'm not going to be able to change as great as an idea I can have. It's not my company to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, it's always a an asking kind of situation there. And if I was able to accept that much faster, I would think, you know, again, I was happy about my time there. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the business and really helped me go from a really high level of my career to an even higher level in my career.
Well, that's when you came on my radar in 2016 in the cruiserweight championship tournament, and I loved that tournament
Yeah.
because it brought in so many people that I was familiar with, people that I had been watching like on the independent scenes and kind of just knew a little bit about, but weren't, I guess, coming to the big stage, right? And then they had this tournament, brought all these guys in, and a lot of guys that I didn't know, like you. And
Mhm.
man, when I got to see you, I thought, wow, I could really get lost in your match. I just thought, wow, I hope they sign this guy. I hope this
I
guy sticks
appreciate it.
around, you know?
It,
And
it, it
and
was
you and you did.
it, I did, yeah. And I knew a couple of things actually. Number one, that same week that we taped the first round of CWC, I wrestled for TNA on Tuesday. So that Thursday, WWE was filming the first round of the CWC Cruiserweight Classic, and then but the Tuesday prior to that, on the same week, I wrestled Mandrews It's online. You can see it. It's Balam versus Mandrews. It's my other character that I wrestled on the Indies as, and they had offered me like basically a spot right there and then after my match with Mandrews, and I told them no. I said, you know, I think I know WWE is going to sign me, and this was even before stepping into the PC, you know, for anything. You know, I was just so confident in myself and my ability, and you know, I knew no matter what match or the outcome of the match, I knew they were going to be like, wow, this guy's different. This guy's, you know, great. And I remember everybody was getting their match assignments, and they're like, all right, you guys got this much time. And then when it came to me, you know, number one, my opponent didn't even show up. So they made me pick between all the alternates. And that's why I picked Ali, because I was like, well, me and Ali have wrestled before. And I know we would have a great match, and hoping that they give us time. But they actually gave us like the shortest amount of time in the first round. I remember they were like 6 minutes. Everybody was getting like 10 to 12. And I was like, 6 minutes. I was like, what the I was like kind of like turned off on the idea to the point where I was like ready to go over time and be like, you know what, forget that. I'm gonna, you know, that's the only time I felt really disrespected. But I ended up looking at Ali in the eyes and I said, hey man, no matter what, let's just go out there and let's get this job. And within the 6 minutes like that we did, like I remember I remember Terry Taylor was our producer, and we went over like 30 seconds or something like that. And he's like yelling at us, like, you got to come out here, come out to the back. And like, you know, this is where when NXT was taping at Full Sail.
Right.
So so that layout, you know, you go from the ring, you could go right to the outside right away. So he was like demanding that we come there. He's like, do you know what happened? You guys went over 30 minutes. You know what would have happened if that was on the main roster? And as soon as he said that, here comes Triple H to come shake our hands. And he's like, that's exactly what we wanted. That was excellent. Thank you guys. And I just look at Terry and I was like, Terry, what were we going to say? And he was like, well, if the boss likes it, F what I say. Like, you know, who cares what I said? I was like, you know what? It was a great experience though. It was really funny. But yeah, that was like a life-changing, you know, opportunity for me, and a lot of good and a lot of bad. So, but ultimately I would never change it. I reached my dream, you know. That's always been my dream, and nobody could ever take that away from me. And you know, I'm happy.
Yeah, and that's a goal a lot of people in this business want to achieve, and a lot of them don't, right? And so
Yeah.
uh
The 1% of the 1% make it.
yeah, I yeah. Yeah, I bet it's very small. Very small.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
If you think about it, because there's still guys that are at the top of their game that have been around the indies forever who've never made it to WWE. You know, there's a 1% of the 1% that makes it to the cream of like the top company. And for whatever reason, I knew very early on you couldn't tell me anything otherwise. I was gonna make it to WWE somehow, somewhere.
right. Yeah, there's always that one guy that comes up in the conversation where you say, why isn't that guy signed to a big
Oh yeah.
company? You
Yeah,
know?
there's a few of my friends that I broke in with that I think if they made the move when I made it, they would have definitely been in better places that they are, or higher companies, you know, that they would have been in. But you know, decisions, different time period, you know, different upbringings definitely influence everybody. So
Right. And I'm sure, you know, that unexpected thing that happens and you know, on a Tuesday afternoon, or that unexpected thing that, you know, happens, you know, 10 years into your marriage or whatever it is, right? Is like,
mhm.
wow, was never expecting that to happen. And now I got to adjust my sail again, right?
Yeah, but I think that's you have to be flexible in life. I think you can't just accept that it is your way. You're going to do things your way or you're going to react your way, but it's not your way in this world, right? It's like whatever the universe wants to do. But I think like in this situation with wrestling, I felt like, and I saw somebody had posted a meme about me, but not really a meme, like just a post. And it is true, and I didn't say it out loud, but I'm not the one to leave my fate and legacy in the hands of others. You know, even at WWE, I wasn't letting them tarnish, or you know, I use their resources to build me up. You know, I'm not saying that they try to tarnish me, but I wasn't also gonna mess with my equity. I wanted to make sure that I left at the right time. I left on my own. That's always been my MO too. Like leave on your own, don't get fired, for or don't get fired for stupid reason. But at the end of the day, I did exactly what I wanted to do. I said, and I did what I said I was gonna do. I said I wanted that to get to WWE. I did it. I said I wanted to leave on my own. I did. And nobody could take that from me.